What is a mother's greatest fear? Losing her child or not being able to protect her? Today, I'm inviting you to hear Maria's heartbreaking yet inspiring story, a mother who faced the threat of being separated from her daughter due to anti immigration policies in America. But can a mother fight across borders? The answer lies in Maria's journey of courage and resilience.
I'm Maria. When I came to America from El Salvador, my daughter Isabella was only 4 years old. My husband, Hector, and I crossed the border illegally. For us, America was just a dream, a better life, a safer future, a place where my daughter could grow up without fear. But that dream soon turned into a nightmare. The night we crossed the border is still vivid in my mind. We were in the desert. The moonlight cast cold shadows on the ground. Hector was carrying Isabella in his arms. I was dragging my feet, exhausted. The only sound was the rapid pounding of my heart. "We're almost there, Maria," Hector whispered. But the fear in his eyes betrayed his words. The moment we crossed the border, it felt like the gates to another world had opened. But I had no idea what was waiting for us on the other side. When we arrived in Los Angeles, I laid my head on the pillow that first night and took a deep breath. I thought we were finally safe. Our days were spent roaming the streets at dawn, looking for work. Hector worked on construction sites while I cleaned houses. My hands were cracked, my back ached, but none of that mattered, because I knew Isabella was safe. Isabella. She was growing up so fast in this new world. She picked up English quickly, and everyone at school loved her. But I was still living in the shadows, as an undocumented immigrant. Every time someone knocked on the door, my heart pounded in fear. And then, one morning, I received that message, the one that turned my life upside down. New immigration laws are taking effect. Deportation orders for undocumented immigrants. My eyes were glued to the screen. My hands trembled. "Hector! What are we gonna do?" Hector looked at me. His voice was cold but determined. "We'll hide, Maria. For Isabella. We'll fight." But I knew. This fight would get harder every day. For months, we lived in the shadows. We lost our jobs. We were too afraid to send Isabella to school. At night, when she slept, I watched her. Tears filled my eyes as I looked at her innocent face. But my worst nightmare eventually came true. One morning, there was a knock at the door. My heart stopped. When I opened the door, 2 ICE officers were standing there. Their papers, the coldness in their eyes. "Maria Vasquez, we're here to deport you and your family." My world collapsed. That night, Hector and I looked into each other's eyes. He didn't have to say a word. I knew what he meant. "Isabella has to stay, Maria." But how? How could I leave my daughter? I had fought for her in this land for years. Leaving her here, alone, it would break my heart. But if I took her with me, would I ruin her future? That night, I made the hardest decision of my life. Isabella would stay. Even if I had to leave, I would always be her guide. When I met our lawyer, Elena, a glimmer of hope returned. "Maria, we won't let them take Isabella away from you," Elena promised. She introduced me to a community of immigrant mothers who were in the same situation. Mothers like me, all of us facing the threat of deportation. We came together, stronger than ever. When I stepped into that courtroom for the first time, my legs were trembling, but my eyes were filled with determination. I am a mother. I will do anything to protect my daughter. We waited in court for days. Each time I looked at Isabella, the innocence in her eyes gave me strength, but every hearing felt like hitting a wall. "Maria Vasquez, your application has been denied." The hope inside me was fading, but I couldn't give up. I had to keep fighting. For Isabella. One night, with my activist friends, We began sharing the stories of mothers facing deportation on social media. As our stories spread, thousands of people sent messages of support. The hashtag #Maria's Voice started a movement. Within weeks, media attention exploded. TV programs, newspapers. Maria Vasquez's fight was no longer just mine. It became the voice of millions. The day of the final hearing arrived, and my heart was pounding. Elena stood beside me, and Isabella held my hand tightly. The judge looked into my eyes and spoke the words I had been praying for. Maria Vasquez's asylum application has been approved. You and Isabella can stay in America. At that moment, my knees gave way. Tears streamed down my face as I hugged Isabella tightly. You're safe now, my angel. Maya. Thank you for giving me the chance to share my story. My voice needed to be heard, and you made that possible. I didn't just fight for my daughter. I wanted to be the voice of thousands of mothers living in fear. I hope my story gives courage to other mothers, because we, as mothers, can cross any border for our children. I want to tell everyone listening, never give up. Keep fighting for your child. Your voice will be heard. Thank you, Maya. You didn't just carry my voice. You carried the hopes of many mothers.
Maria, thank you for sharing this incredible story with us. Your courage and the power of motherhood have inspired us all. This story reminds us of one thing: a mother will do anything for her child. What about you? Does this story sound familiar to you? Or do you have a story that's waiting to be told? If so, share it with us, because every woman is the heroine of her own story. And maybe in our next video, your brave journey will come to life. Remember, you are strong, even when standing alone. See you in the next inspiring story.